Draw your last pathetic card so I can end this, Yugi.
My grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards, Kaiba.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Parkerverse. This week, as a little surprise for you guys, I thought we'd add in another classic anime to the collection. This time, from one of my favorite all-time animes, Yu-Gi-Oh! I bring you guys Yami Yugi. This is going to be another one in my series on how to customize your home screen like a pro. A series where I show you how you can easily and quickly get these stunning minimalistic setups on your Android phones. So if you haven't already, make sure you check out the previous episodes. And following that format, I'm going to show you how you can take a basic home screen setup and turn it into something like this. But before we get started, if you like this video and want to see more just like this, make sure you like and subscribe to help support the channel. And don't forget to submit your live wallpaper and home screen requests right from within the Epic Live Wallpaper app. Just head to the live section and then click on the request button. And remember to boost your favorite ones using both the heart and the booster buttons here. So here he is, from the dark side of dimensions, the return of Yami Yugi. With this setup, I've gone for material UI yellow icon packs, accompanied at the bottom of the screen by a bold date, time and weather widget. And as for the battery level indicator, we have one of Yugi's most iconic monsters, Dark Paladin, whereby your battery level is indicated on the outer part of the magic circle. This setup will be running Nova Launcher using KWGT widgets, and to complete the look, I'll be using the Hex installer for system-wide customization. The link for these and everything else that you're going to need are going to be in the description below. Now as a quick note, if you want that full screen edge-to-edge look for your home screen setup without those ugly signal bars, then make sure you disable the notification bar within Nova Launcher settings. And to get this comfy icon layout, make sure to head to Nova's home screen settings and change the grid size to 5 across and 10 down. And to really clean up your home screen, I highly recommend you turn off icon labels, increase your icon size, as well as disabling your home screen dock. Now that we have that out the way, the icon pack that we're using in this setup to give us this material yellow theme is the black and yellow pack. Just simply head to Nova's look and feel section and set the pack as your system icons. And before we go any further, make sure you grab this unique wallpaper from my very own custom creation app. Just simply head to the live video section and you'll find it there. And remember, if you have any wallpaper suggestions of your own, make sure to let me know from right within the app itself and boost the ones that you want to see next. Next up, these awesome KWGT widgets. But before we get into them, we need to make sure that we enable widget overlapping. You can find this at the bottom of Nova Launcher's home screen section. Just simply make sure to enable both of these options here. Now that we have that out the way, the first widget of the setup, this bold daytime and weather widget, courtesy of the Stripes pack, is widget 0003. So let's start by loading in the KWGT layout to our home screen, and then we want to resize it so it looks something like this. Now with this widget, we're first going to start by adjusting its size. For this, we want to first head into the layer tab, where we're going to adjust its scale. For my screen size, the setting 129.4 was perfect, but of course, feel free to play around with it yourself. Next, let's move the widget a bit closer to the bottom of our screens. For this, within the item tab, we want to head into the component group, and then using its positioning tab, we want to adjust its Y offset to 20. Now for the widget backdrop, just simply head back up outside of the component group, and using the plus button in the top right corner, we want to add in a new shape item. And once done, let's head into it and start by first changing it from a square to a rectangle, and then adjusting its width to 360, height to 160, and finally cornering to 17. Now as for the color, let's head to the paint tab and simply apply the color code on screen. And as you probably guessed already, we're next going to head to the positioning tab and shuffle the shape further down the screen. And finally, for this widget, from the item list, using these side handles, we want to drag the component group from the top to the bottom of the list. And of course, remember to hit save before you leave. Now for the second widget of the setup, this custom battery level indicator. Inspired by one of Yugi's most iconic monsters, Dog Paladin, the battery level here is actually along the outer circle of the widget, emptying out as you use your phone. For this, just simply start once more by loading in a KWGT layout to your home screen, and then we want to resize it so it looks something like this. And to make sure the widget reaches all the way to the edge of your screens, long press it and toggle the padding option. Now with this widget, before we get into the KWGT setup itself, we need to first grab ourselves this PNG image. I'll leave a link for both this original website as well as my own Google Drive uploaded version in the video description below. Just make sure to save one of them to your phone. Now on a quick side note, as an extra step, you can use the app PixArt to remove the text at the bottom of the image, or alternatively, you could simply just ignore it just as I did. Now within KWGT, make sure to hit create to open up a blank canvas. Now here, let's start by using the plus button to add in a new shape item. Next, let's head into it and start by first turning it from a square to a circle and then setting its width to 300. Now, within the effects tab, we want to change the texture to bitmap, which by clicking on this option here will allow us to load in our own custom image. Now at this point, don't worry too much if your image is off the canvas. Instead, just head over to the positioning tab and copy my settings here. Now once done, let's head back out of the shape and then head into the layer tab. Here, we're going to change the scale from 100 to 75. So now that we have the base of our widget set up, let's cover up the text at the bottom of our image. For this, we're simply going to load in another shape item, once again by simply using the plus button in the top right corner. After which, we're going to turn it into a circle, exactly the same as we did in the first widget, followed by setting its size to 263. Next, let's head to the paint tab and change its style from fill to stroke. And here, don't forget to set the stroke size to 22. Now as for its color, just simply set it to black. And finally, for the shape, within this positioning tab, just copy my settings here. And before we move on to the battery indicator, make sure to reposition the two shapes so our new black circle is at the back. Now for our indicator, using the plus button in the top right corner, we're going to add in a new progress item. By default, this is already set up to indicate your phone's battery level. So for this, let's start by first changing its mode from flat progress to split, and next, within the style tab, we want to change it from a linear bar to a circular one. After which, we're going to set its size to 269, width to 32, and its height to 10. Now as a final tweak, within the color tab, we're going to apply both of these color codes here. One for the foreground and another for the back. Now before you leave, make sure to drag and drop the progress item between the other two shapes of the widget. And wrapping up this setup, we're using Hex Installer. This is going to give you a nice AMOLED friendly black backdrop with the colors of the theme splashed across the whole system, including the notification panel. Just use the color codes that I'm showing on screen. And alternatively, you can get a similar result using the app OneShade. If you like this video and want to see more just like this, make sure you like and subscribe to help support the channel. And if you have any theme suggestions or requests, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. See you next time on Into the Parkerverse.